Hi, my name is Josh Gottry. Welcome to today's weekly lesson. Today we're going to talk about some hand drum technique, specifically as applied to the djembe. The djembe is a West African drum. As you can see, it's a little bit of an hourglass shaped drum. There are certainly similarities between this and say a kunga, which is a Cuban drum. But specifically the shape is distinctive in that respect, in that the kunga is a barrel-shaped shell. African djembes are typically carved out of a single piece of wood, mounted with a goatskin head that is rope-tuned. This is a manufactured drum with a synthetic shell and a key tune mechanism. Makes it a little bit easier to adjust the tuning and certainly makes it a little bit lighter. But either way, the technique, whether used on a rope-tuned wooden djembe or a key-tuned synthetic djembe, is going to be very, very similar in approach. So there's just a few sounds we're going to look at. And again, some of these may apply as well to kungas, but I'm going to specifically address the djembe and its unique sound because of the design of the shell and how the instrument is constructed. So the first sound we're going to look at is a bass sound, and we're looking at the flat of the hand, not quite in the center, but just a little bit off center. Again, so we get more of the resonance of the drum as opposed to a dead sound as we'd get in any instrument with timpani or snare drum if we play dead center. So we're going to go just off center. We're going to keep the flat of the hand here and try and get a resonant rebound off the drum with the flat of the hand, get a nice bass sound here. And it is really important as I'm playing this instrument, a couple things. First of all, I've got the drum slightly off the ground, or at least tilted, so that most of the bottom of the drum is open for the sound to pass out. If I put the drum flat on the ground and I play that same stroke, you notice the significant reduction in resonance out of the drum. So it's important that the drum be open to speak. And so I've got it just an inch or so off the ground, got my feet wrapped around the bottom of it so that I get the full resonance of the drum. You'll also notice that the drum is tilted away from me. And the intention behind that is to give my hand the most ergonomic position to play the instrument. So the natural curvature of my wrist as my forearm is slanting down is to play on a surface that is slanted away from me. If I tilt the drum towards myself, of course, yes, I still have that open bass, but now my wrist is in a very awkward position in order to play the drum because I have to actually bend it backwards to create a flat playing surface. So we want to play the drum, and this applies to kungas as well. We want to play the drum slightly tilted away so it matches the curvature of the hand and the arm to get as relaxed and, again, ergonomic playing position as possible. So that's the bass sound with the flat of the hand just off center. We want to do this with both hands and be able to execute the same sound with either hand consistently. That's our bass sound. The next sound we're looking at is what's called a tone or an open sound. What we're going to do is take the hand, if you feel right here on your hand, right below the knuckles at the base of each finger, okay, you're going to find a spot that is very, I guess, padded, for lack of a better word, where the bones are not exposed. We're going to use that curvature spot right underneath the base of the finger knuckles to actually rest right on the rim of the drum, right where the head meets the wood shell. By putting our hand there, we can actually play that spot with our hand and allow the fingers to react or whip almost naturally and strike the drum and rebound quickly off the drum. Of course, with any percussion instrument, the quicker you get off the drum, the more resonant the sound. And so we're looking for a situation where our fingers will do that automatically. We don't even have to lift. In fact, my hand is going to stay right there on that rim spot after the stroke, but the fingers are going to actually rebound off the drum. And you can see I leave my hand on the drum after that stroke, but the fingers quickly touch and come off, and we get that tone sound. You do want to be careful with where you put your thumbs to make sure you don't hit the bone, the knuckle right there in the middle of your thumb. That, of course, on this hard surface right on the edge would be painful and possibly bruise the bone, which would be an extended period of discomfort with that joint. So you want to make sure you keep those thumbs out of the way. So we've got this open sound, as contrasting with our bass sounds from earlier. And I highly recommend you just spend time just going back and forth between the different sounds and getting used to those with both hands and being really comfortable with how each sounds and the motion to get between them. The third sound we're going to look at is a slap. It's a louder sound. It's very similar to the tone, but we're going to put a little bit more snap into the stroke, a little bit of almost like a pull with the fingers towards yourself to create a little bit more of a pop sound. So if we do the difference between a tone and a slap, you'll see very little motion difference, but you are going to hear some sound difference. So here's a tone, and then you hear the slap sound that comes. Okay, and all I'm doing is my fingers are a little bit more rigid. I'm doing a little bit of a glancing blow, not coming off the drum certainly completely, but a little bit more of a swipe there into the drum to see if we can get that popping sound. So again, here's our tone. And there you hear the slap sound as a result. As with everything else, of course, you're going to work the left hand too. My left hand slaps need a little bit of work maybe. Okay, so bass sound, tone sound, slap sound. Okay, and again, we're really trying, the other thing with those slaps, you're going to really focus on the back two fingers. The pinky and the ring finger make the most of the contact on that sound. There is an edge sound that you can get on djembe, just playing the fingertips on the edge of the drum. It'll give you also a different sound, that pingy sound that comes with playing right on the edge and getting the thin resonance of the drum as well. And then all sorts of different things you can do to adjust those sounds, whether it be a dead stroke, so we can take that same bass stroke and actually play a dead stroke following that, or instead of that. So here's our bass stroke versus a dead stroke bass stroke. Same thing with the tone. Here's our regular tone. We could actually do where we keep the fingers on there. Same thing with the slap. If you take one hand and rest it on the drum, all of a sudden that slap doesn't have quite the resonance, but it still has that same pop available to it. So those are some other variations you can play on the drum. But I would certainly recommend just start with those basic 3 strokes: bass stroke, the tone stroke, and then of course your slap stroke. And be able to do those with both hands, get back and forth between the drums. Also, certainly if you're looking at playing some djembe music, most of the authentic styles you'll come across for djembe are based in compound meters, 12/8, 6/8, things like that, if they were notated, although many of them are just passed down by rote. So get familiar with that meter or time signature as well will be helpful in your understanding of how West African drumming and djembe playing often works in that context. Best of luck with that. See you next week.